there is a subtle element within everything that is reflecting itself. And the universe never brings an opposition. So how can it be that the very thing is coming towards you? There is balance in the universe. So there is always going to be a mixture of both worlds, both energies, both thoughts, both extremes. So if you don't like something, you're going to attract the thing that you don't like. Period. Now, how does one balance it then that one doesn't attract what one doesn't like? It's part of the universal law that you attract the things that you don't like. It's natural. Furthermore, it's part of how you react to the thing that you don't like, which is mostly important than anything. Because the very thing that you don't like, the attraction is that to be balanced so that you can only attract a minimum of what it is that you don't admire. And so by doing that, the minimum is to do with your karmic debt to your day-to-day karma and to your previous existence karma. So both have their true nature of equilibrium. Both express their own results in their full expression. So one is the tendency to overdo something, which is the previous life karma. If you overdo something constantly, you only attract that very thing throughout your next incarnations and next incarnations. Like, for example, in astrology, one thing that I look into my patients, I look at their strongest planets. And if I know their strongest planets, I know where their direction is going. And this is a technique that I've learned from Edward Kane. And basically, it's a very powerful technique in knowing who and what the destiny of the person is. That's one way of knowing oneself. Because remember, the planetary energies have their own purpose. And so whichever one you are working with the most is where your direction is going to push you towards. Now, what one can do is identify the weakest planet. Okay, so identifying the weakest planet will give you the depth of what you can do to remedy the problem. Sometimes it's very small and sometimes it's very big. But the key essence, more than anything, is to find out how do you utilize this. And it's not just this, it's how do you utilize your reaction to this. How do you react when something comes your way? And karma lies, or should we say, what we attract actually lies in the depth of how we respond to our surrounding. The moment we change our way of reacting to our surrounding, everything changes. There is no loss, because our reaction to our very surrounding let us know what we let in and what we reject. And so the key is about what is it that you are attracting today, that your response is not conducive to your next following attraction or to your next following law, which is balance in itself. Causation is a manifestation of attraction, because causation is first projected by the self, but then the self is not actually projecting causation because the universal principle has already projected that force into play. What one is actually conjuncting with is the effect of the cause, because the universe is the cause. You're just at effect of the cause. And you just have to remember that. If you know that the universe is the cause, although you have a source, you are not the source. You are a projector of the all. You're basically in it anyways. So in essence, once one can identify the negative traits, the negative habits that's purging inside of you, only then can you start resolving what you're attracting on a day-to-day basis. And that lies again in the stars. You can go to see someone or whatnot to get a reading, But it's only when you get to your planetary forces inside of you and start understanding how they are manipulating your matrix, can you shift your paradigm. Your paradigm lies in the reaction of your emotions. And that is where the war begins internally. Because how you see someone is not how they see you. You have to remember that. You have to remember that, because you are the source of your attraction. You are the source. Your reality begins here. Your reality actually begins in your gut and in your mind. Your gut is your emotional seat, right? And your mind is the projector of this emotional seat. And once you can intertwine those, you can identify how food, not just food alone, but how the environment is playing a trick on you. The environment is playing a trick on you to alter the way you perceive your reality. And so this is the key. So, okay. So basically, here I want to lay the concept of who you are and why you are here today. You know, you are here today because you have responded. You have responded either constructively or destructively to your environment, to the people in your life, to the food, to everything that is surrounding you. And you have to accept that. Now, in order to change your reality, you first have to look at your dark side. What is it that you're lurking inside that you haven't dealt with yet? And that is the key. And you know what? Now, astrologically, in the sky, Jupiter is in Scorpio. And it's been there since practically around September, October. You know, astrologically this year, 2019, is very powerful. Because Jupiter's in Scorpio, it's allowing you to go deep into any trauma, any emotional depth or debts that one has with other people and the source of their subconscious mind. It's very rare to get this, and it's very powerful. Now, okay, I follow Vedic astrology, so most people will say to you, okay, Western astrology, that Jupiter's gone into Sagittarius. There is some truth, but there isn't the whole truth. Karmically, it's in Scorpio, and so you have to go deeper into the psyche and revalue what it is that's holding you back. And it's very important because you can go deep with that. And again, looking at the deep depth of who you are is actually the key to opening the layer to changing your responses to your environment. Changing your responses to your environment lies in that space. Okay, 2019 is going to allow you to bring that into the surface, and if you choose to, you know, and to change your response, first and foremost, it's about being able to sit down with yourself and sitting down with yourself truthfully and writing down what it is that's holding you back. What is holding you back? What is holding you back for real? And you will come to realize that the first thing that is holding you back is yourself, nobody else. Then it's about figuring out the people in your life. Who are they? What are they doing for you? Next, what are you doing? Because what you do also has a correlationship to the people that's in your life, which makes complete sense, of course. So the people in your life play their part. They could either be channels to opening up different layers for you, or they could be hindrance. And so the first thing I say, this is just my personal opinion, is to surrender. Surrender your willpower to the people that approaches your life. Surrender. Because the moment you surrender, you allow them to come in, but then you allow yourself to realize what it is that you've attracted. And then you can see whether it's a positive trait or a negative trait. Or you could even see what it is that you need to adjust in yourself by learning the very remedy that they have to offer you. Because each person is a gift. Remember that each person comes to give you a gift. It's not a hindrance. It's not a blockage. It's a gift. Like, it's a gift. So what is it? What gift are you bringing in? You know, when it's a negative, you know, it could be a negative approach or negative sign. It's whatever it is. It's allowing you to go deeper into yourself to see what it is that is attracting that layer inside. You know, what strength or what weaknesses that the person is bringing in to you. And so, you know, your response is about how you're dealing with that situation, how you're dealing with that matter. And the more you learn about that, the deeper you can go into the layers of yourself. And that goes back into the mind. Now you channel that by writing down what makes you respond. What makes you respond? Because not everything is a response, but everything is a subtle response. And sometimes it's not. You know, sometimes it can be very blunt. But the subtle responses are very physiological. And so they, you know, they're in the body. And you're moving your body in a particular way, which allows you to respond in a particular way. So it's about observing how you respond to your environment and how you respond to the people that surround in your environment. Now, so like I said, Jupiter's in Scorpio this year. And, you know, it's following through until September. Then it's about coming into the realization of the truth, of knowing what it is. Because a lot of people are going to find out by the end of next year. They're going to find out a lot will be revealed within themselves. And, you know, the beginning of the year starts with Venus in Scorpio on the 1st of January. And basically that is going to highlight and bring up the desire to kind of just dig into the self. We should say not so dig into the self, but dig into what the self has to offer on a deeper layer, and what one wants to bring out. That is the desire for it, which is actually bringing it forward in that sort. So going into the deeper layer, but then again, it also goes into the dark side of the self. You know, so Venus in Scorpio is not really good, especially if you're a female. Like, sometimes it could be good depending on what the Navamsa chart is bringing and what transits that Venus is doing in Scorpio. But yeah, personally, it's about digging into that. And so it's good because then you can go into the deeper layer of Scorpio. And remember that the symbol of Scorpio, or should we say Pluto, sorry, is actually connected to the symbol of Venus. But the symbol of Pluto is more intensified than Venus. And so, in so many words, in order to kind of dig a bit deeper to that and understand what the core relationship between Pluto and Venus is about, kind of just getting to know yourself on a very sensual level. Because that will highlight the Plutonic source, you know, and that in itself, the Plutonic source is very, very psychological. It's very deep. It's very ocean-like, and it's almost like, you could say it's like a block, but it's not. It's an openness which hasn't been resolved, and it's a psychology that hasn't been really perceived deeper enough to bring out the depth, because it's gone inside. It's really gone deep inside. It hasn't released, remember. It's deep inside, and that's where magic is. And once you can identify who the true animal is in your inside of this being, then you can start flourishing the beauty that is inside of you. The beauty lies in the beast, and that's where the true essence is in. Now, okay, so now that we know that, let me expand a little bit more of 2019. Saturn is currently in Sagittarius. And of course, for all the Westerners, they're going to say to me, no, Saturn is in Capricorn. Saturn is in Sagittarius. And what it will do, it will basically, you know, what's happening at the moment, Jupiter and Saturn are having this kind of, you know, they're one is one sign forward and the other side, the other is a sign back from each other. So it's a very, very competitive kind of push and tug of war kind of effect going on at the moment. Saturn is in Sagittarius, which is obviously the sign of, which is the planet that governs, the planet Jupiter governs Sagittarius, and Saturn's there. So it's almost like, it's making you go deep into the ocean. But then at the same time, while you're going deep inside the ocean with Jupiter in Scorpio, you know, it makes you go deep into your emotions, and, you know, it makes you kind of dwell deeper into the things that you're dwelling into. But then with Saturn in Sagittarius, it's making it hard to receive that truth. So it's like, oh my God, this is the hard truth. Is this really the hard truth? Is this really the truth? Can I take this? It's sort of like painful to deal with, but it's the truth. It's the truth. It's that kind of relationship going on. And so that is what's coming up for this year, 2019. The beauty of it is that it will allow you to grow deeper than what's here right now. And that is the magic. That is the magic for 2019. So it's about that, really. That's the tug of war. So just be aware that you're going to find out some truths about certain things, and you're also going to be able to grow, you know, like for Sagittariuses, you know, moons and sun in Sagittariuses, you'll probably experience some difficulties in some you know, certain truths that you might receive, or even journeys, spiritual journeys that you might undertake. You might find it very difficult during this time. And for Scorpios, moons and suns in Scorpios, you'll find that there is a lot more to find out or to dig into yourself. And you will realize things that you didn't know about yourself that is coming to the front, you know. And this year plays a strong part for that. And obviously if you're a Scorpio, then there's a lot of resources there that's available, that's coming into you. Traveling is also very, very significant. Learning new things is also significant. You know, and you know, meeting someone through journeys and traveling as well is also very significant there. So these are the signs that are playing their games in this 2019. Now, obviously, if you want to discover what's happening with you, you could always get a reading, and we can go into that. We can go into the depths, and we can identify what is happening in your life and what is causing certain blockages or what is happening there. But my main key in this video was really to talk about you know, the aspect of kind of just listening to the response that's coming into your life, because that's creating a karmic pattern to the next path. And to pay attention to that, because from knowing who you are, you can change your response, and by changing your response, you change your future life karma. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope that has brought some light to the existence of the self, because the self is always going through transformation, but it's about knowing what's causing the self to transform.